Yeah, it's True Detective here, a book review, How Linux Works, third edition by Brian Ward. This book, it's pretty advanced Linux knowledge, but it's not so advanced that it would come from somebody who is a operating system developer himself. This is more of your how to use Linux on a very deep high level. Mostly it's about what all the commands do on Linux and how it's segmented into these parts, the operating system there. Most of this stuff though, it's just completely over my head. No, most of this stuff is just, I didn't gain much from this book in that sense. And it's not so well written as, for example, that book by Andrew Tannenbaum, because he was a professor at MIT. This guy, his way of teaching very different. There's also quite a bit of knowledge over here that we learned, or I learned in the vocational school with computers here in Finland. That's how Linux works. It's not so deep of a book as that the modern operating systems book is. Where do you go next from here? Probably to looking at the fucking source code and trying to understand it. There, like, what does it actually do? Because you have to understand that if you have a command, the command is only how you call that function of the program to be executed. He also explains in this book also the graphic stack of Linux pretty well, the X Windows system and Wayland nowadays. The operating system Linux, it became relevant because of Wayland. He also explains over here how X input works on Linux and how that can be configured and changed if you want that kind of stuff. Talks somewhat about compiling software from source code on Linux too. Really, if you think about Linux nowadays, what they do with the distributions, most of this stuff is already like done for you. Most of this stuff is already kind of configured there. Still, it's a great book. Would recommend it for anybody that wants to work with Linux a bit more deep.